The thing you need to learn how to do is how to package yourself, how to capture your stories, your key accomplishments, to know your why, to know your convictions, to be able to illustrate your story about why it makes so much sense to go from where you are to where you want to be. Hey badasses, and welcome back to the Badass Careers YouTube channel, which is the space on the internet for people who want to do work that fills their cup, sparks joy, and makes them feel excited on Mondays. Now, if you're here, it's probably because you know that something needs to change in your career. You want to make a move, you want to make a pivot, but you're probably freaking out a little bit because, let's be honest, this is a big deal, it's a lot of work, and if it's not done right, it can feel like a big risk as well. Moving away from what you know to the unknown, even if you know that you need to get out of where you currently are. But people change and evolve all the time, and so should what they do for work. So maybe you've simply changed as a person, maybe you've evolved, maybe you've leveled up, and now your current role feels unaligned and unfulfilling. Maybe you're bored, maybe you're stagnant, you've outgrown where you're at. And maybe you know you have so much to give and you're simply not living up to your potential in your current role.
True, and yeah, that's pretty true.
Maybe you can relate to that awful feeling of being drained and deflated at the end of every day, and it's actually getting to the point where it's affecting your mood and your relationships in your private life. Now, if you want to change careers, do something that's more aligned to where you're at and get back your zest for life, then you are absolutely in the right place. And we're going to talk about the 4 biggest mistakes that career changes make. And this comes from me working with over 200 people from 20 different countries over the past year and helping them to up-level their career, either in their current industry and profession, or sometimes they've made a jump to something completely different. And I want to share the lessons learned and save you your time and your energy so that you can do the same. By the way, if you are watching this, I would love to invite you to my brand new free masterclass. It is a 90-minute training called Love Your Work. It's my secret formula for helping you to figure out what you truly want and build a career that you are next level obsessed with. So I invite you to go one step further with me and to really learn some strategies that you can use to get to your destination dream job. The link is in the description box down below. I would love to see you there. Please sign up. There are lots of different timing options no matter where you're at in the world, and I can't wait to see your name register for the training. Cool, so let's talk about these big mistakes of career changes. Now, what you need to know is if you don't stop making these mistakes, you will keep trying to do it yourself, spending way too much time and energy in the overwhelm, stay stuck where you are longer than you need to, risk changing and actually doing the damn thing, but feeling exactly the same way as you do now in 6 months' time when the honeymoon period wears off, or waste even more months and years in unfulfilling work when you could have already been working on and progressing in your next career move. So the first mistake that you want to avoid so that you can get on the right career trajectory for you is job hunting without the clarity. So what career changes do, and it breaks my heart when I see it, is that, they're feeling very underwhelmed by their current role. They start with going on the job boards or with tweaking their resume and their CV and just applying to new things, as if just a new job, as if a change of scenery will solve all of the underlying issues.
No.
And they do it because they know what they don't want, but they don't really know what they do want. So they're lacking the clarity, they're lacking the vision. And so what happens is they hop on these job boards from their current frame of reference, and they're actually just looking at jobs where they're like, oh yeah, I could do that, I could do that, I could do that. That is not a career change strategy. Seeking similar roles in similar environments with similar conditions and expecting to feel totally different doesn't really work like that. And what happens here is that people end up job hopping from one opportunity to the other, never really figuring out what's missing. When they stop doing this and they do the hard work to get the career clarity, that's when the game changes, because that's when they know with laser precision what they do want, what they don't want, their must-haves, their deal breakers, and what that next role looks like. They get super strategic, they get intentional with their professional brand, and they are excellent at precision networking, and the doors start opening for them because they have a vision, they know their purpose, they know what they bring to the table, they know what they want, and they know exactly how to target these opportunities. So before you change careers, you have to be able to answer questions like, who am I? What do I want to contribute to the world in my one precious life? What am I exceptionally gifted at? What are my strengths? What are my deep core top 5 values? What do I want for the world? What kind of people do I want to surround myself with? And what's my purpose? What is my why? These are massive questions, I know, but to get you started, I do have a framework that I walk you through in my free training that I just told you about. So click the link in the description box down below. This was handcrafted by me. It's called the Hell Yeah Career Donut, and it will help you to get started on answering some of these very powerful questions. Mistake number 2 that most career changes will make is not identifying what's really keeping you stuck. And to illustrate this point, you need to know 2 fundamental things about the brain. First is that 95% of our thoughts are subconscious, okay? They're not happening at the conscious level, but all of our thoughts drive our behavior and drive our results. The second thing you need to know is that our brain has been hardwired for survival, and it has a very strong threat response. It will do anything to move you away from danger and move you away from pain, whether that's physical or psychological. So it avoids pain twice as much as it seeks pleasure. And when we change careers, there is so much fear and potential pain, right? What if you put yourself out there and you get rejected? What if you try and you fail? You've got the fear of losing your income. You've got the fear of the unknown. It can be a very scary time for your brain. Now, what this means is that at the subconscious level, your brain will start to self-sabotage you because it doesn't want to see you hurt. So it's going to talk you out of changing careers. It is going to bring up every subconscious fear and belief and doubt and lack of confidence, and it's going to be absolutely rife during this transition. And what this results in is unwanted behavior like procrastination, for example, just not doing the thing, avoidance, giving up, etc., etc. So what I would love you to do as a practical exercise is to help emerge all of these thoughts and these feelings and these doubts and these limiting beliefs that are keeping you stuck. And you can get started. It's really simple. Right at the top of the page, I want to change careers, but I'm worried that ... And just let yourself sit there for 5 to 10 minutes and let all of the thoughts and the beliefs and the worries and the concerns emerge. At least you'll have on paper some of the things that are going to get in your way and be keeping you stuck. You might have things come up like, I'm worried because I'm the provider. I'm worried because I don't want to be a quitter. You're a failure if you quit. I'm worried because I just don't know what I don't know. I'm worried because I'm not sure where to start. I'm worried because anyone would love my job. I should just be grateful for what I have. All of these things will come up. And when they come up, that's when you can start to challenge them and ask yourself, is this true? Would this hold up in a court of law? You know, yes, you may be the provider. What is making you think that you won't earn just as good money or even better in your next move? And is that true, or is it just a fear? Is it an assumption? You have to at least understand your subconscious fears and limiting beliefs so that you can be in charge and not your brain trying to self-sabotage you throughout the process. Mistake number 3 is using the wrong methodologies to get the job done. So a couple of things I see career changers do. Number 1, they go back to study, they go and get the MBA, they go back and get the certification because they think they need to study in order to change careers. Or number 2 is that they just take a list of transferable skills from the job description and they put it on their resume and being like, cool, I'm gonna get through the applicant tracking system and they're gonna be able to see that I have transferable skills, and it doesn't quite work like that. So let's talk about the education thing, because this may be necessary for a small percentage of professions, you know, registered professions like psychologists, doctors, engineers, etc. However, for most people, you know, you could spend 2 years getting an MBA or 2 years heads down progressing in your new chosen career. Getting the certificate doesn't automatically make you more proficient in your new role, right? So you're much better off getting in and then upskilling on the job. And secondly, no hiring manager is going to be able to see your true talents and potential just by listing some transferable skills on your resume. That is not going to stand out in a sea of applicants who have already done the job before you and have the right quote unquote job title. So you have to get a lot more creative than that. The thing you need to learn how to do is how to package yourself, how to capture your stories, your key accomplishments, to know your why, to know your convictions, to be able to illustrate your story about why it makes so much sense to go from where you are to where you want to be.
And trust me, it works.
And you also need to get in front of real humans to be able to tell them that story. And yes, that means connecting with people. It means getting out there, getting in front of hiring managers, getting in front of who would potentially be people in your new team at the peer level, and actually discussing with them and letting them know who you are and what you're all about. By connecting with people, by strategically networking, you will be able to land what's called an internal referral, where someone from inside the company sends your application on to the people who matter. And people with an internal referral are 4 times more likely to get hired than someone without one. And it makes sense, right? Because hiring the wrong person is extremely costly for an organization. Mistake number 4 is the DIY mentality, the do-it-yourself mentality. And this is classic with high achievers who have been, high performers, ambitious, very resourceful for their whole lives, and they've always been able to figure it out on their own, And it also comes from people who view, asking for help as a failure, when actually, if you think about it, the world's top performers in every single domain, whether that be sports, whether that be music, whether that be acting, they have coaches. Coaching helps people to get from good to great. And the thing is, when you try and do everything yourself, you waste so much time in analysis paralysis. You have so much time in the overwhelm. You might self-sabotage yourself. You might get a few rejections and end up settling for a role that was never right for you and end up in the same old cycle. And let alone all of the time and energy you're wasting on trying to become an expert in HR and careers, for example. I really think we do it backwards when it comes to investing in ourselves, because we'll invest tens of thousands of dollars when we're 17, 18 years old, signing up to college when we don't even really know who we are or what we want yet, and yet investing a few $1,000s into an expert that can help us go through a proven framework and actually do it without the stress and do it without the overwhelm. That's pretty damn priceless, right? Let alone, for example, in career coaching, the salary you'll be able to negotiate when you go into your next role with an expert. So it just pays off in dividends, and yet we're so anxious to invest in ourselves, like we don't deserve it or we're not worthy enough for whatever reason. And it's really, really backwards. The fact is, it's really hard to read the label when you're in the jar, right? So having the external perspective on us and what we're amazing at and what kind of roles we should go for and that kind of thing really, really is priceless. So if you're in the position to invest in career coaching to get you there, I would absolutely recommend it.
Do it.
And either way, if you are in the position to invest financially or not, I would definitely check out my free masterclass. It's a 90-minute training that walks you through the exact 4-step framework that I use with my private clients anyway, to give you a taster of what that might feel like. And you will absolutely walk away either way with so much value and practical action steps to be able to take from watching that training alone. So badasses, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm excited to see your name pop up on my training. Love your work. Again, the link is in the description down below. And otherwise, if you have any questions, come say hi over on Instagram at Badass Careers. And I'll see you here next week on the Badass Careers YouTube channel. Have a good rest of your week. Bye.